Me. You start. Yay. Okay. Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining us today on Unlocking Life, where we dig deep to get to know the person behind the business. Before we get started, we just want to remind you to watch all the way to the very end. We are doing a secret word contest, and you'll have a chance to win a gift card from somewhere cool that's local.
That's right. Great. Hi, guys. I'm Echo with Life of Echo.
And I'm Mindy with Relationships Unlocked. And we're going to introduce our guest for this month. And that is Jean Walton.
Welcome back, Jean. Thank you so much for coming again to our show.
Yes, welcome back.
Thank you.
All right. So you were here before in January, and you told all the things. So can you just give us a brief reminder of who you are and what you do?
So I am the founder, CEO of Everyday Girl Adventures. We have a social boutique in Old Colorado City, and I host community events while showcasing women businesses. And I also publish books through my imprint called Misfit Press.
Awesome.
And you two both happen to be two of my authors.
We are, yes.
And if you're ever thinking about writing a book, I totally recommend working with Jean and Jamie because they are awesome and they're so helpful, and they're not going to completely break the bank, which is really helpful. And they have a la carte services and or the whole package, which why wouldn't you just do the whole package? But
some people don't need to. Some people just want to self-publish, but they don't know how to format or edit a book.
Exactly.
So that's where we come in with the a la carte services, is because not everybody needs start to finish publishing. Some people do. Some people just need help. Like Mindy needs help getting motivated to start her project and get through it. And then we have Echo, which, by the way, surprise, you are officially an international author.
Really? Really? With Unlocking
so
or
Yeah.
Unstoppable Me?
England, yes.
Really?
Yeah. So
Oh, that's so exciting.
That's
Okay.
awesome. Yay, congratulations. Yay.
Well, I love that you guys meet people where they are, right? Like when I struggle, you just took those little pieces I couldn't quite connect and made it happen. So,
Yeah.
Misfit Press, they can reach out to you on all the socials, I assume, is the best way.
Yeah.
to find
Miss
more. Okay.
MISS.
FIT, MISSFIT, where every Misfits, but yes, socials. So I used to have a separate website for Misfit Press, but I get most of my business through word of mouth and Facebook, interestingly enough. And so I have the section on everydaygirladventures.com. So you can either look for our services on there or Facebook Misfit Press.
Cool.
I know my sister might be. I don't know. We'll see. I gotta talk to her more about that. My sister wants to write about
Come on, sister,
her life,
do it.
her growing up and all of that and all her things.
And I met her.
Yeah,
After
she's-
your birthday, funny enough.
She's awesome.
Because you came into the shop and
To
made
make candles. Yay. I love the candle
Bar.
Thank you. Good night. Oh yeah.
Well, if it sounds like Jean has a lot going on, it's because she does. But boy, you just manage it with grace and humor and beauty, and you just keep going. And I admire you a lot for that.
Thank you.
It's very awesome. Very, very awesome, all the things she does. And we'll talk a little bit more throughout the podcast, the different things that Jean has going on. So today our topic is anti-resolutions check-in, because our January topic was anti-resolutions. So we're going to see how everybody's doing halfway through the year. We're going to switch things up a little bit this month. I'm going first with my 55 seconds of unlocking this through a relationship lens. Alrighty, so get all official. In our January episode titled Anti-Resolutions, I gave everyone a challenge. I shared my thoughts on the phrase New Year, New Me. I'll remind you what I said. New Year, New Me, right? Well, what about New Year, same me? I'm just going to love her a little more. Because guess what? There's nothing wrong with the old me, and there's nothing wrong with the old you. Do we want to make improvements? Sure. Do we need to or have to? Absolutely not. So the challenge was for you to take a long look at yourself and decide if you feel you need to make improvements or if you just need to love yourself more. Let me share some statistics with you. And these are statistics on like the amount of people, like how far they take their resolutions and how soon they quit.
Okay.
So about 14% of adults who make New Year's resolutions cite self-care, mental health, or optimism as their primary goals. While exact self-care terminology varies, broader Well-being goals are extremely popular. 36% of people resolve to improve their mental health, and 25% focus on being happy overall. So those are the good numbers, right? So none of these topics are bad, and they're all things that we should probably strive to improve. My concern is the pressure that resolutions put on people. I believe a big part of why people don't keep their resolutions is because of this pressure. This worries me that when people give up on their resolutions, they also give up on their self care. I don't want this to affect their relationships with themselves. So, the not so good numbers. Week one, 23% of people have already quit their goals. The second Friday in January is widely dubbed Quitter's Day by habit tracking platforms. So, of the people that's left, the end of January, 43 to 45% of those people throw in the towel. February, nearly 80% of people report hitting a major wall or abandoning their focus. 6 months, so in June, 54 to 60% have completely given up. Only about 46% are still actively maintaining their resolutions at this point. And I saw something, and I don't know why I didn't print it, but it was something like 10% by the end of the year. It's like 10 to 12%, like have actually kept, like of all the people that are left have actually stuck with their resolutions.
Wow.
That actually sounds like a pretty good number for me.
Right?
10%.
Yeah.
I just mean because most people do give up.
No, you're absolutely right. So, but it's not 10% of the original number. It's 10% of everybody that's left. So,
Well, if you're a 10%er, please let us know your secrets
Yes.
and how you do it and how
yeah.
you make a goal stick for 365 days, because that can feel like a lot of days sometimes.
that is, yeah, that's definitely
Right.
a lot. So,
Well, it's fascinating, Mindy. Thank you for sharing those statistics. Now let's unlock 55 seconds of science. You know, I talk a lot about neural pathways in the brain's plasticity, and how gratitude and appreciation and positivity actually changes the way those pathways are. As humans, we tend to, our first thought is always often kind of negative, but we need to remember that it's the thoughts after that first thought that we can change. So I learned something a couple weeks ago called the 3 ups, and once I learned it, I understood how it really ties into my work when I work with clients on mental fitness. And so what we're going to do is we're all going to think of something that either maybe has been draining us or hasn't been going quite right, or that we've been complaining about. And then it actually takes a human brain 3 renewing thoughts to overcome 1 draining thought. So the negative thoughts drop us so far. It takes us 3 positive ways of thinking to get it even back to baseline. So I'd like us to practice 3 ups today on the show, and listeners, we would love for you to listen and then join along. So whoever would like to go first, tell us something that's been kind of draining you, and then give us 3 positive things about the thing that has been draining.
I'll go first.
Great.
I'll go first. Actually, what's been going through my head today, which is interesting, is technical difficulties.
Oh.
So I watched I listened to rather our show in January, and we had some technical difficulties, and often we have technical difficulties through our life, and this is a great opportunity to look at the thing that we're struggling with and how we overcome those technical difficulties. And so for me today, I didn't have my headphones because I left them in Jamie's car, and I've been running since February, pretty regular, almost every day, and I've made it a routine, and I've pat myself on the back for that when I get
that is admirable.
Celebrate it.
when
Absolutely.
I get through the day and talk myself into it. When it's rainy, I've still made myself go. If it's not downpouring, if it's too windy, I hate the wind. But today I didn't have my headphones, and it was really hot outside, and could have easily talked myself out of it because I had things to do, this being one of them today. And I made myself go anyways, and I was alone with my thoughts. So that was one thing that I was actually grateful for, because it gave me some time to brainstorm and think about things a little bit more in depth and differently than I normally do when I'm listening to music and, getting lost in the music when I'm walking and running every morning. But I saw the moon in a cloudless sky, and that
really
is
cool.
Unusual. And it reminded me to look up that it's really easy for us to get stuck in the rut, but maybe sometimes it's always there, that thing that we need to keep us motivated. And so when I saw the moon in the sky at 9 o'clock this morning, and I'm like, I shouldn't see the moon, it kind of reminded me. And then I heard the crickets sing, and I heard the birds chirping away and having their conversations and just flying across the sky. And I was like, this is the silver lining of this moment, is that I got to experience things that I don't normally in the morning, when I'm kind of like, not fun.
Right.
But we do this
Right.
often in our family life, our work life, our everyday. Is we get stuck in those moments where I don't want to do this, instead of look at what happens when I do this.
Yeah, look at what happens when they do.
Yeah. All right. Well, I can go next.
Yeah.
For you, Echo. The thing that kind of gets me down is it's regarding my business. So there aren't, clients falling out of trees right now. Um, and everybody that I talk to and tell them what I do, the relationship coaching, they all think it's a great idea. And, they know somebody who needs it and that kind of thing. But when it comes down to it, after they've done their consultation, a lot of people don't want to spend the money. I am self-pay, so it makes it tricky. But on the upside of that, when I do get a client, um, I'm really able to help them. And it's so great to feel, to hear them say that, they took something away, I told them something they didn't think of, whatever. So it's really great that I get to help people. But it also helps me. So it makes me feel better about myself. It makes me feel like I'm doing what I should be doing. It kind of validates that, when I do get in the rut of, oh, there's no clients, maybe I shouldn't do this anymore, that kind of thing. It does make me feel, very validated. And then my third up is, like I said, when we were talking earlier, is, time, about time. And, you know, it is nice to have my own time, my free time. I can write my own schedule. I can do things how I want. And, gives me time to write my book, word my book, if I would actually make myself take the time to do it.
We're making progress.
You'll
We're
get
making
there.
progress.
Yeah.
We're going to get there.
It'll happen.
And so, yeah, so those are my 3 ups.
Thanks, guys. Lately I've been complaining a lot about a landscaping corner that's happening, and my 3 ups are just closing my eyes and thinking about how it's gonna be when it's done. That's gonna be so beautiful, and the satisfaction of what I've completed, this little DIY project. My second up is my young person is in town and is helping me do it, so we're having a lot of fun doing this project together. Well, maybe not fun, but we're still doing it together. And this morning,
time together.
yeah,
Quality
exactly,
time,
quality
meaningful
time. We found a free umbrella on Marketplace the other day and set it up, so like it's all coming together. And then my third up is, I mean, gosh, I have to remind myself, like, I'm a homeowner and I own property and I own a yard that I can do with it what I want. And so I need to keep reminding myself that, right, a lot of people would love to be in my shoes and have the opportunity to get to dig and build and create and change and make things
and not have to ask permission.
Exactly.
No, that's definitely a bonus.
Yeah, so I just thought of that third up. So great. Okay, so thank you guys for participating in 3 ups. Listeners, think about what is something you've been really struggling with or complaining to yourself or out loud about, and think of 3 things and change those neural pathways. Feel free to share in the comments anything that you want to teach us. Thank you so much.
Love that. No, that was like really fun exercise, Echo. We don't usually get to do that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's really neat. So let's get into our questions. Last time you filled us in on all the great things that you do and why. P.S. If you want the details of all the things Jean shared with us in the first episode, watch it. Go to our YouTube channel and go to our YouTube channel, look up episode 1. It is Unlocking Life Podcast, and that's our channel. Or go to Spotify and listen to it there. But yeah, you'll learn all the things that Jean has going on and does, and it's really, really exciting.
I hate to say I have a favorite episode, but I really, really like that.
That was a really good episode. It was, and it was our first one.
We had great conversations before and,
and after as well.
Yeah, it was just a good one. Anyway,
so yeah, it was awesome. I mean, and it's not just because it was our first; it really was a good episode.
Yeah.
I think my second favorite was mine and Troy's, and then yours was a really good one too.
Yeah, we did good stuff here.
We do. So look back and watch them all. So is there anything new on the horizon that you want to make sure we know about?
Well, besides an upcoming book release, which we will keep you posted on, we're making great progress with Mindy's book, but and also Echo being an international
it's so exciting
author. It's really exciting.
That was very cool.
I'm really excited about the third annual Misfit Monologues, which is at the Centennial campus of Pikes Peak State College. And that's on September 19th. That show grows a little bit bigger every year. It's stories told on a stage through various forms of self expression. So, singing, telling a story, singing, dancing, playing an instrument. And I'm pretty excited to see where this year's show is going to go. Our markets get bigger all the time. My candle bar in Old Colorado City, that's getting more and more popular, and it's very affordable. It starts out at $5. You can do it. Oh, $6. Sorry, $6 or 2 for $10 on the mini candles. Or
It's
you
a great
can,
deal.
or
That's
you
what I
can get a larger candle, and it can take 5 minutes or 30 minutes, however much time you want to make memories and express yourself through that fun activity. But community experiences are always going to be my passion, and helping people share their story and their voice and feel like they belong. And so that's what Everyday Girl Adventures and Misfit are all about. And you can find anything you want to know on our upcoming things through our socials on Facebook and Instagram, and the website everydaygirladventures.com, and Misfit Press on Facebook.
And is that where they can buy tickets to your events? Is on the website? Or?
They can go through, yes, the website will be updated this week with the ticket link. It is on Facebook, but you can buy your tickets on Eventbrite. So Misfit Monologues, two S's, MISSFIT, where every misfits. It's the third annual event, and I'm super excited to hopefully have you guys participate in some way.
It was so great last year.
It was so
it was
good.
a lot of fun.
These two were both on the stage, so
yeah, I still
they've
have
been on the monologue stage.
I still have my mirror. It's displayed over there on my shelf.
I'm excited to see this one get bigger and better and share even more really amazing stories.
Will you have audition information posted soon for folks?
Yes. So you can come to the auditions at Everyday Girl Adventures on August 22nd. And I think I have it. I haven't created the event yet, but it's going to be 1 to 4, I believe. So watch out for that to come out. If you cannot make that event, then submit your video audition to Jean at everydaygirladventures.com, and we will take a look.
Great. Awesome. Yay. I'm excited. I got to figure out what I want to do, though. Because last year, how do I top last year?
Well, this year is going to be pretty incredible because I'm changing up the format just a tad.
Okay.
So there's going to be some fun surprises. And we're going to be doing things a little bit different than we've been doing the last 2 years.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
Can't wait.
That is exciting.
Exciting. Gee, now that we are halfway through our year, think about your thoughts about anti-resolutions before to now. Have they changed? And if so, how?
Yes and no. So I don't normally make a New Year's resolution. And for the reason that we talked about is most people don't keep them. And so there wasn't anything that I could ever think of that I would not be committed to. I knew I was going to give up eventually because, I grew up a nice Catholic girl that had to give things up for Lent every year. And, we never keep those. Okay. We never keep those either for very long. And so I just never made a resolution. But this year, I think that I said that I wanted to be healthier, which most people, that's a normal resolution, right? But I noticed that when I became an entrepreneur, I kind of, although I do a lot of fun things, I go out on a lot of fun adventures, I don't do as much self-care. And as I was talking about, like getting back into running and working out more regularly starting in February, I realized when I would wake up in the morning, the last couple of years, I would wake up achy and feeling old. And as I mentioned, I just turned 50, as did we all.
Happy birthday to us.
Within like the last 3 months.
Yeah.
So it's 8 weeks. Yeah.
So we're all the same age. But I noticed that
I'm the baby.
The thing that people notice as we're getting older is our body starts aching and we start hurting a lot. And I started getting into that rut the last few years. And as long as I was moving around, it was good. But I noticed I'd get out of bed and I feel terrible. And I thought that it was just from getting old. But I realized since I started working out and sticking with I'm going to be healthier this year, I don't do that anymore. I have more energy. I've been drinking a lot more water, and I have kept my activity level up. I haven't dieted at all. I've just been more mindful about portion control and things like that. But I was like, I'm really going to be more intentional with my routines. And so I have, and that has improved, and I have way more energy, and I don't wake up and crawl out of bed like stiff and awkward and hurting like I used to. And so that's made a big difference. But another resolution I made was that I wanted to travel more this year because I didn't get to travel that much last year. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to make it happen. And so this year I've already been to San Diego. I've been to Miami. I've been to Orlando and Daytona. I have, my mom's going to be 80 this year. And so we have a family trip planned to Nashville in late
Cool.
September. And then Orlando again to help my sister with one of her space projects in November. And so,
Yay.
and
Yeah.
hopefully we'll throw in a few more. But I love to travel, and that's something that I kind of let slip away last year. And I was like, I'm going to make these things happen this year. And I did decide I was going to make a little bit of a commitment to myself rather than a resolution that I was going to do these things. And so far, I'm going to be one of those 10%ers.
Yeah.
Keeping my resolutions this year.
Well, I like this word commitment to myself. That's quoting you versus a resolution versus setting a goal. It's like a commitment to you, and it didn't depend on anyone else. It was all you being able to control. So maybe it shouldn't be resolutions every year. Maybe it should be more self.
Well, it goes
And
along
that's
with
kind
what Mindy says about loving yourself a little bit more.
And it's, I mean, and it kind of, it goes, definitely goes along with the whole theme of this podcast, the anti-resolution.
Well, it's that relationship with yourself.
Absolutely. And that all kind of leans into, excuse me, the next question. So in the January podcast, you said that your self-care routine is always infused into your professional life. How has your routine changed now that we are 6 months in, or has it changed?
Well, it's changed a little bit because, like I said, now I'm choosing healthier things. When I mentioned that back in January, I was talking about fun, like making sure I have fun. And my business is based on fun. And so I'm like, of course I take self-care because, but fun, even fun isn't always fun.
Sure. But you said running and like that does not sound fun to me at all.
But no, I mean, that part is not always fun, but I just mean like the everyday adventures mindset that I have, that I wanted to share with people and create these fun experiences, these events. They're work, they're fun, they're fulfilling. I feel a sense of accomplishment when I'm there, when I get through it, when I get all these people to come on this crazy ride with me, to have these fun moments together. But there is a lot of work that goes along with it. And I don't always stress that enough, maybe. And sometimes that's something internally I just take on by myself. But I always thought, well, I'm having self-care while I'm doing my business. But sometimes, like I said, sometimes fun is work too. Sure. And so now that I am taking, instead of just having these events and adventures and community markets and things that I do that are fun, and I get to see and live vicariously through my vendors, but also the community that when they come in, like to me, that is fulfilling and fun, but it's also work. And so now, instead of thinking that that's part of my self-care, it is to a point, but I decided to take more time, because we talked about saying no on the last show, and how that's self-care sometimes is saying no sometimes, when we feel bad about saying no. But now, instead of looking at it that way, I'm starting to take time just for me and spending more time with me. So not just doing things with my authors and the community and showcasing women, but also like I made more room for me. And
to separate it a little bit.
And that is a different kind of self-care than I realized I needed.
I think we get so wrapped up in what we're doing, and we all are givers. We all love to help others and provide for others, and it's really easy to forget, my time is valuable, and my husband's always reminding me, like when I am a vendor at an event, it's like, oh, it was only this, much money for these many hours. And he's like, yeah, but think about all the hours you put into preparing for it, and all the hours, you spent 4 hours there, but that was 4 hours you could have been doing something else if it wasn't successful. And, like things like that. It's just, your time, you said this in January, you can get money back. You can't get your time back.
Well, and I think self-care can be simple. Like sometimes people think, oh, it's a spa day, or sometimes they think sometimes it's just sitting by ourselves, in our thoughts, and every just morning taking a step back, meditating, whatever that may be. but it doesn't have to be something big and showy and being like, I'm doing the self-care thing. Sometimes it's the quiet moments with ourselves that we just need to do more often, and it is very therapeutic, and that's something that I've really leaned into, especially this year. And I think that helps get me through those moments of doubt and stress, and and I'm a problem solver, and so that's where I have the clarity to
look for the moon
and look up. Keep
look
looking
up.
up.
Look for the moon.
I like to hear that for Eugene. I hope you're proud of that pivot this year. Yeah, for sure. Speaking of pivots, a lot of people are struggling with change right now, right? Keeping a resolution requires some change. Can you share with us something that you've had to pivot this year that you were not expecting?
Well, not even just business related. Kids, sometimes our kids, things happen unexpectedly, and breakups and getting displaced at home, and sometimes we have to take them in, and so that's something I've had to adjust to, is my kids coming back in to stay with me for a while they're going through their life transitions, and I'm happy to be able to be a loving mother that is willing to do that, but it's just disruptive to my life. It's disruptive to their life, and it's hard for all of us when I'm like expecting them to check in with me, and I haven't had to do that in a year. And so when you get used to something, and then life happens and we have to adjust to it, and so that's something that I've had to work back into my daily schedule, is more time with my kids, because they are adults and I didn't have to do that for a while. But I'm grateful for the quality time as well. And so it's that same, like, finding the ups when you're going through stressful times.
Absolutely.
But I mean, most of the things that I work on are the same. It's just maybe a little bit different struggles, and so I have to pivot constantly. That's actually a word I've used a lot this year.
Pivot.
Well, if this isn't working, how do we pivot? And I do that a lot through my business, and as we do, we all try things. I did a podcast for a while, and it was fun, but it wasn't maybe the best time that I could have spent on my business, and so I put that on hold. And there's a few things that I've done that were such a great idea, but I do all these different things, and so I've had to kind of hone in on the things that are requiring the most attention.
Well, you have to prioritize,
And
right? Or else you don't get any self-care time. So
but I have a million ideas, and so like I have a million ideas and not enough time, and so that's one thing that I've learned, is like, we don't have to do everything that we come up with, and I try things, and then if it doesn't work, then I pivot. And so I use that word a lot, and I'm like, all right, well, we gave it a shot, and then but change is hard. I walked away from a 20-year career at Target a year and a half ago. That was tough, and I haven't gone back. So
you haven't needed to.
So, but it was hard to walk away from my livelihood for 20 years and to turn to this. And so, but you know what? Owning a business is a constant pivot. Yeah. And I will say, no 2 days are the same. They aren't. And so I think that's actually a word that we have to embrace and realize that we chose this life. But something you said, though, that I really liked a little bit ago, was how you get to spend more time doing things that you want to do. And I think we've all kind of expressed that at some point in this conversation, that although being an entrepreneur and changing our lives over it is a lot of work and a lot of stress and a lot of things,
but we get to choose.
But we get that choice, and so I think that's a big deal. Yeah.
Well, and if you expect the pivot, and that's just part of being an entrepreneur, and then learn how to handle the pivots. I think that's the key, right? Is learning how to.
A pivot is not
an end.
An end. It's not a negative thing. It's not a reason to give up or quit. It's just a reason to
sometimes it's
change
a reason
direction.
to freak out, though.
For a little bit, briefly, but it's a reason to you just gotta change direction.
And you got to trust that the door is shutting for a reason,
Mhm.
right? And that you have to pivot
Yeah,
sometimes. even
because you
if
got to
don't
open the
wanna.
other door. You got to
Yeah.
pivot to do that.
Yep.
So open the next door.
Thanks for sharing with
Yes.
us your little personal stuff there. That was very,
Well,
very
you know, as I
authentic.
say, I'm
And
an open book.
So, next question. What is your advice? So, this is a good, I like this question a lot. And I think you're going to have a really good answer. What is your advice to anyone who is struggling with feeling guilty about not keeping their resolutions so far this year?
Well, I just think that you have to give yourself some grace. I think that it's easy to be disappointed with ourselves. I am often, despite what it looks like, but I don't dwell in those moments. I'm a problem solver, and I think of the blessings, and I think that that's the biggest thing is you can also dust yourself up off and start over. And I think that a lot of times people don't realize that you may have a bump in the road, you may have technical difficulties, you may fall off the wagon of whatever it was that you were committed to, but you can always decide tomorrow, I'm going to start over, I'm going to do it anyway. And I think that a lot of people think that when they fail, that's the
it.
end of the road, and it's not. You know, I had the end of the road on my fitness journey for 3 years, and here I am.
Yeah.
3 years later, slowly getting back into it. But it's never too late to do what you want to do, and if it's something you really want to do, then you can start again anytime.
Yep.
Love it.
You don't have to wait till next January 1st.
Nope, you don't.
Love it.
I started in February.
Right? Exactly. I'm always like, thinking of something new that I want to try or want to do or want to,
You can do it
whatever.
Today, you can do it tomorrow, you can do it next month.
And you don't know what you don't like unless you try it sometimes.
Exactly.
So you might as well give it a go.
And it's not failing if you've tried.
Well, I always use the phrase "dust yourself off" because it's easy to fall down and get stuck there in the mud, in the dust, in the dirt. But you can always get up and be like, "All right, I'm gonna brush it off and try again or try something new."
Yeah, love that so much. So we keep talking about the last time you were here, but it's pertinent. That's why we're revisiting. We're revisiting.
It's a significant amount of time that's gone on.
So the last time you were here, the big takeaway was to give ourselves permission to be a misfit, MISSFIT, because
every misfits.
So what are some first steps for someone who wants to give themselves permission to be a misfit?
Well, when I started doing it, I realized when I felt left out or I felt different and I didn't belong, I started talking to people about it. And it turns out everybody feels that way.
Yeah, imagine that.
Because I was a bit a misfit in the business world. I started my business off an idea. I didn't have a concrete location. People didn't take me seriously. But people were intrigued, and I talk a lot, so so for whatever reason they kept inviting me back to these things. But I was like, but somebody needs to create a space for misfits, and everybody was like, ooh. And so that's I started realizing that although we feel like we're the only one, we're not. We all feel like alone sometimes. I grew up in a family with 10 kids. I'm number 6 out of 10 kids, and everybody in my family feels alone at one time or another, and we all do. And so when I realized that people were intrigued about the idea of being a misfit and everybody identified with being a misfit, I realized that that was the key to believing in myself. Was I don't have to be perfect, because none of us are, and everybody feels like they're failing or they're doing something wrong or they're not the right fit at something. And people started telling me that they were inspired by the things that I said, and putting myself out there and crying on stage and in meetings and everything. And I was like, if this is as impactful to them as they say, then there's something to this. And so I started giving myself permission. I'm like, well, then that's my brand. That's my brand, to make mistakes, to show people it's okay to be silly or stupid or not feel like you did things the way everyone else does, and
or the way everyone else thinks you should.
but we're all unique, and that's what
Exactly.
I think people need to remind themselves of when
Mhm.
they feel. And that's the epitome of being a misfit, is realizing that you are unique. No one is like you, and that's pretty special. And if
Mhm.
we all start thinking that way, well, no one's like me, no one can be me, nobody can do things the way that I would do them. Because people start businesses similarly sometimes, and they do similar things, and people will say to me all the time, oh, I know somebody who's doing that, but they're not doing it the way that I'm doing it,
Exactly.
and I'm not doing it the way that they're doing it.
Mhm.
And so that's what makes it different and unique. And I think that that's the thing we forget to remind ourselves about, is that we are unique. We are the only one of us that there is. And
Mhm.
as soon
Thank
as
God.
we realize being that kind of a misfit, that's why every misfits,
Yes.
is because we're all in that same boat. We just don't realize it. But we
Exactly.
got to just give ourselves permission to make mistakes, and it's okay, because we all do.
So I heard kind of three steps. If I can just rephrase and you can let me know if I've got it right or not right. Not. So step one, believe in yourself. Yes. Step two, give yourself permission. And I just put a period there because you talked about permission to go, permission to stop, permission to fill in the blank. Two, number two, give yourself permission. And then number three is just remember that you are unique.
I would probably swap the first and the last one, though, because you know why? Because people don't just automatically believe in themselves.
Right.
Okay.
And so that's something that you don't get until you have a result of something else. And that's
Okay.
why. So I would say believe in yourself is the last one.
Remember
Because you
you're
have to do.
unique. Give yourself permission and then believe in yourself.
Yes,
Love it.
I think that those would be the steps to embracing yourself as a misfit, because we don't automatically believe in ourselves.
Right.
But when we give ourselves permission to make the mistakes, then and then we can have that opportunity to believe in ourselves, because a lot of times people believe in us before we believe in ourselves.
Awesome. Okay. Thanks, listeners.
Love it.
Are you a misfit? Do you want to be a misfit? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments.
It's fun. You do. You want.
Yeah. Let us know your thoughts about anti-resolutions, where you are halfway through the year. Comment below. We want to hear it all. Let us know what's going on with you.
Yay. So now we have time for one more thing before we wrap up. The hat question. Do you remember the hat question?
I do.
Yay.
And I'm not even that scared, because it's hard to catch me off guard.
They're not really scary.
No.
I'm a misfit, so I'm used to being able to
So
answer most questions.
this is where we have you pull a random question out of the hat. This question will either be about relationships or happiness.
All right. Are we ready?
Am I going to read it, or
You are.
You are going to read it.
What helps you feel connected to someone?
That's a good one.
That's actually a harder question than I would have thought, because I connect with a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
What helps me feel vulnerability? I think that's when somebody, and that's something that I've had to do a lot through this journey, is be vulnerable and real and genuine. And when someone gives that back to me too, whether it be we have a big crying session over something that we've experienced that's similar, I think that you can't ever really know somebody unless they're vulnerable with you. And so for me, if somebody opens up to me about something that maybe they don't share on the surface with everybody else, then I feel like I get to know them a little bit better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Awesome. How about you, Mindy?
So what helps me feel connected to someone? Honestly, that definitely, vulnerability, definitely, if someone trusts me enough to share with me, but some of that to me goes back to my low self-esteem. And so if, somebody like really trusts me that much, then, they must really like me or whatever. But I really love finding people that I have things in common with.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously I'm going to be connected to them, but I mean, that's what it is. I love weird coincidences. So, like, oh, we like the same thing. We like the same animal. We like the same music. We like the same artist, obscure artist.
Or we're all 50.
We're all 50.
We're all 50. We're all small business owners.
Yeah.
We're all women.
Your birthday is the same as my daughter's. Things like that. Like, I just love weird coincidences, and it just makes it interesting. So
Great.
That's mine.
My first thought was authenticity, which you talked about, and then commonality, which you talked about.
Mm-hmm.
So really, it's just those things about being real and finding those people that you share things with. Like, think we make it probably harder than we need to.
Exactly.
Yeah, it really is
We
more
really
As
simple
humans.
than people think.
We really do.
Oh.
We really do.
All right. Thank you, Jean, so much for joining us again
Thank you
today.
for
this
having
month,
me again.
episode 7. Woo! We've come such a long way.
Yes.
It felt like a long way, but we're here. Thank you, listeners, for joining us on Unlocking Life. Remember, happiness grows when we share it, and relationships thrive when we nurture them. Before we sign off, Mindy, tell us what is happening at Relationships Unlocked these days.
Well, Echo, so Relationships Unlocked and Life of Echo are participating in a customer appreciation event this coming Saturday at East Library in the community room.
July 11th.
July 11th.
Just throw the date
Sorry.
out.
Yes,
Okay.
that's important. July 11th from 2 to 5. And in the community room at the East Library, there's going to be snacks, there's going to be activities, there's going to be giveaways, all kinds of fun stuff. We just want to celebrate you, our guests, customers, clients, whatever you want to call yourselves. We just want to appreciate you and want you to know that.
Yeah. I'll post a flyer at the end of the edits just so everyone can read it.
Yeah, I
We'll
actually have
that
this
week.
right over there.
Okay, great. Love it.
So, all right. So, yeah, that's what I got.
Love it.
That's the big thing that's coming up for me.
Cool.
There's another thing I might be embarking on, but we'll
Ooh.
embarking.
Save it for next month.
We'll see if that happens.
Yeah.
What about any additional updates for Life of Echo? What's
Yes,
happening?
excited for customer appreciation. And then I have started a radio show just from saying yes to stuff that sound exciting. So you can listen to Echo Under the Covers every Friday from 8 to 9:30. You need to download the Live 365 app, and you'll find me on Cloud 719. And I am playing songs that are great songs that have been covered by other new bands. Some are local, some are small, some are well known. I always had this dream of being a singer and having a one-man band and singing covers, and I can't sing at all. So this opportunity came up to do a radio show. I jumped on it. So Echo Under the Covers on Live 365.
And then there was something
Take a
else you
listen.
said right after that. We had to have the Live 365 app, and then what
Oh,
was-
and then Cloud 719 Radio is who you'll listen to 8 o'clock every Friday. The first show is the new show, and then they get a replay throughout the rest of the month. So
very cool.
take a listen to the music. It's so
Yay.
fun.
That's awesome.
Great.
That's exciting. That would be something I would also thoroughly enjoy doing. I
Oh
think.
yeah,
So-
I'm welcome. I can have a co-guest. So if you want to join me sometime, do it.
absolutely. It's a date. So yeah, that sounds super, super awesome.
Great.
Okay, so tune in August when we talk about back to school time as a single parent / entrepreneur. And until then, keep unlocking the life you love, one story at a time.
One more thing, that secret word for today will give you a hint. It has to do with keeping a commitment. Throw your answer in the comments, smash that like button. And until next time, guys, on Unlocking Life, we'll see you then.